Shabbat shalom. All right, we're working out some technical difficulties, but we're here at showdown the first priest. First three priests, we're going to stand up and start off the prayers. With the class rolling. So we're going to start. All right, so. Barak Yahweh. Bahashem Yahweh. Ahawah. V'tolanaw. Award. Dayawam. Dawad. Aman.
Blessed Yahweh in the name of Yahweh, God, that gives to us the light this day, thanks so be it. The light represents the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Most High. You can find that in Matthew chapter 5 and verse 16.
Come. Barak Yahweh. Bahashem Yahweh. Ahawah. V'tolanaw. Rayah. Dayachah. Dawad. Aman.
Blessed Yahweh in the name of Yahweh, God, that gives to us sweet savor. Thank you, so be it. And the sweet savor represents our prayers going on to the Most High.
Barak Yahweh. Bahashem Yahweh. Ahawah. V'tolanaw. Hasabat. Bashalom. Dawad. Aman.
Blessed Yahweh in the name of Yahweh God, that gives to us the Sabbath in peace. Thank you, so be it.
All right. This is Psalm 121 in Hebrew. Anasha. Ayam Yah. Hawayam. Na'ayah. Yabu'ah. Isaiah. Yabu'ah. Mayahawa. Sha'aisha. Shemayim. Wa'aratza. La'ah. Yonatan. Ramawat. Regolia. Yalaha. The one. Tashamamor. Yasha'ala. Yahweh. Shemoya. Yahweh. Tazoya. Yah, Yad, Hasemash, Yala'ah, Hakayah, Bayawam, Wala'ah, Halabana, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashemaya, Mopol, Rai, Yashemar, the Pasha, Yahweh, Yashemar, Hawalakya, Wawa'aya, Ma'aitan, Wa'ai, I will learn. Amen.
This is Psalm chapter 121. I will lift up my eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and forevermore. Amen.
Amen.
Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 4. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord.
All right, you can read that Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 4. All right. This is the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. Avanahu, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malach Matkah, Taba'ah, Vatazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'araza, Kawah, Haya, Bashamaya, the Salanawa, Lakham, Ko, Yawan, Wasalak Nawa, Khawat Nawa, Kasalak Nawa. Let's do that. Abanaw, Sabashamaya, Kodash, Haya, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakmatka, Taba'a, Ratazaka, Haya, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawa, Haya, Bashamay, Littlanaw, Lakham, Ko, Yawan, Wasalaknaw, Khawatnaw, Kasalaknaw, Khawat Yanaw, Wala'a, Tabi Yanaw, Banasayawan, Abo, Hawashaynaw, Mayan, Rad, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Waha'ala, Wahata, Maharat, La'aywalam, Aman.
This is Matthew chapter 6 and verse 9. After this manner, therefore, pray ye, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Amen. This is the Ten Commandments in Hebrew. Number 1, La'a, Jahaya, Lika, Alahaya, Ahorim, Alpanya.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Number 2, La'a, Ta'aisha, Lika, Kusol, Wala'a, Ta'aibadan.
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image.
Number 3, La'a, Ta'aqua'a, Sham, Yahweh, Bashawa.
Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain.
Number 4, Zakar, Hayawam, Hashabat, Lakodashwa.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
Number 5, Kabad, Abaka, Wa, Amaka.
Honor thy father and my mother.
Number 6, La'a, Saratazak.
Thou shalt not murder.
Number 7, La'a, Tara'ak.
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
Number 8, La'a, Taganam.
Thou shalt not steal.
Number 9, La'a, Ta'ainan, Shakur.
Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor.
Number 10, La'a, Takaman, Ko, Ra, Lara'aika.
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Which means to deceive.
Let's get the first reading.
Lekatakan, Shabbatashal, Rabban, Banyashala.
Nagatakan, Sabasha, Raban, Banyasha, Livija, Maji, Barak,
Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakatam.
Alba, Simya, Shakata. Alright, so the first reading is going to start at Deuteronomy chapter 22. So he's going to read from Deuteronomy chapter 22, verses 1 through 17. Deuteronomy chapter 22, verses 1 through 17. That's where the first reading is going to start. So, everybody ready? Alright. Alright, ready, Lakai?
Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 1. Thou shalt not see thy brother's ox or his sheep go astray, and hide thyself from them.
Well, why is that important? Why is that important? Read that again, Lakai.
Thou shalt not see thy brother's ox or his sheep go astray, and hide thyself from them.
Why is that important? You got this up?
It's the people in the mind that show love to our neighbor as ourselves, to be a helper for our brothers and not to ignore them, so they won't lose out on that and get important for them.
Yeah, and then right with what you're saying, it's about putting ourselves, because we don't, who here owns livestock? None of us, right? Nobody here owns livestock, but that was a form of commerce back then. Even now, but we don't own livestock, so we don't know that lingo so much to speak, but we know farmers were very wealthy people back in those times, and if they're doing it right this time, they're very wealthy now, still. But we know that much more back then, right? So those animals were a form of commerce, and that was that person's money to take care of their family. So that was their way of financially supporting their family. So you understood that, and you would be considering that and having a care. Like me, I'm considering my brother. It's about considering. It's developing consideration towards your people. You're thinking about what he got. Cause what's the going statement nowadays? It's they say find the keepers, lose the weepers. What's the other one? Find the keepers, lose the weepers. There's another one that goes right with that. What you supposed to say? Remove your feet, you lose your seat. Right? Everything's about me. There's a lot of those statements that go in that trail of what we're talking about right now. And it's literally just geared towards you, pleasing you. Right? And you're not seeking to think about your brother. Like, let's go to Philippians 2 and 4. Right? The reigning scripture. Are you honest? Yeah. So it's showing us how to think about our brother. It says, hide thyself from it. Thou shalt not see thy brother's ox, and his sheep go astray, and hide thyself from them. Because you knew that's how he took care of his family. You knew that he worked hard. Think about it. Let's imagine somebody coming from a low state, right? Let's say you grew up on the good end of the stick. You grew up wealthy, but then on the opposite end, this person, you seen them come from the bottom up, right? And actually build themselves up to where now they are wealthy, like you were, like you are, like you grew up. And then now you see this sheep on the straight. Let's say a bunch of their sheep on the straight. That's a whole lot of their money missing. Do you want to see your brother go back to that low state? I mean, would you? Yeah, and so it's about considering that person and looking at that brother, that sister, right? And seeing, man, that's how they take care of themselves. That's how they've been doing it throughout their generations. I got to make sure that I'm looking out for them. It's like, you know what that does? Taking away from the financial aspect. What is when you think about kids, think about our communities in the 90s, right? When we still had some sort of a care for each other. When you had kids and your parents at work, what would the rest of the community be doing? They'd be what? They'd be who? Yeah, raise your hand. Yeah, raise your hand if you say so. Go ahead, Lassie Barton. I'm going to be like. You speak a little loud. They'll make sure that your kids are taken care of. Right? They'll be tending to your kids while you're not there. While they'll be watching over your kids. I remember my mom used to have a neighbor watch us. I mean, that was like the early 2000s, like 2001. They were still kind of doing it around that 2000, 2005, 2008 era. Where the neighbor, my mom would be working overnight jobs, and then the neighbor right over, she ain't in the house, but she'd be coming to check in on them. Right? And if we needed food, she'd have something cooked, and then she'll have her kids bring it over to her. Or my mom already has something cooked, either or, but we will be watching over each other. So it's far beyond just the cattle and the finance. It's about thinking about the people. Because before David was a king, what was he doing? He what? Well, before we go to that part, I want to know the answer. I know he's going to answer the other question. I think you say something.
Yeah, I would say, back in the day, the community were all together collectively watch over the kids, report them good and bad to the parents, and make sure that the parents knew what was going on with the children, and make sure the children knew that they were being watched by the parents.
Right, and we like that now, but that's such a crucial part because that's how you make sure nobody's lacking. That's how you make sure nobody's lacking, right? Your kids is good, good in the sense of food, clothing, right, shelter, but then nurture. But if you knew, right, if you knew that I had to, let's say back in those times, let's think about back in those times. Somebody had to go take a long trip to do what? They doing a trade. They about to trade 5 sheep. So they already let go of 5 sheep for some fabric, right? And then, so they lose the 5 sheep, but then another group of sheep is going astray because somehow, some way, he forgot to close the fence, and they slipped out. So you see it, you're like, oh, that's so-and-so's sheep. I don't matter to me. What's going to happen to that sheep? What's going to happen to his finances? He's going to lose out on a whole year's worth. He's going to lose out on a whole year's worth of just, what's this? Okay. Yeah, he's going to lose out on a whole year's worth of money, right? But then think about the kids. What happens when that person's out of town doing a business deal, but then you're there? You're there to help. But if you're not caring to help, let's say you're not caring to help, what's going to happen to those kids? They miss out on a whole couple months or weeks of nurture. So everything that the parent was building into them while they were there is lost. But you could have been the neighbor. Let's go to the verse. Philippians 2 and 4.
Philippians chapter 2, verse 4. Look not every man for his own things.
Yeah, we're not supposed to look at our own things for this very reason, because somebody's going to be laughing if you're looking at your own thing. When they needed you and you're not there, right, to help support them in their time of need, or just to be sufficient, to sustain, right, then they're going to be struggling while you win. But, at the end of the day, we know the Most High will do what? Check that person for being selfish. So that person is going to come back right back around anyway. So that glory is going to only last for 2 seconds. But we know that we can't look at our own things. And it's because if we look on our own things, then us as a nation, as a body, as a people, we're gonna fail. We're gonna have what? Delinquents. That's where delinquents come from. Right? They're looking out at the window, they see the drug dealers, they see the pimp, right? And then what happens? They get baited by that. But if that neighbor is being selfish, like, I'm gonna close the blinds, right? And not care about anybody else but me. And now you what? They don't realize through their selfishness, they're breeding more drug dealers, more pimps, more prostitutes, right? And now that child is spoiled. While that parent was out, and you should have been there helping that parent who was in need, the single parent mother, the single parent father in the community. But this is why we figured out, just taking it to, just start reading. Read that again.
Look not.
No, hold on. Let me read that. Just to read that.
Deuteronomy 22 and 1. Thou shalt not see thy brother's eye, or his feet go astray, and hide thyself from him.
That's why it's important that we didn't do that. The Most High gave us a base point to train that mind into us. You see an animal, you should have enough care with this animal to make sure that your brother's cattle is taken care of. Because it should train your mind. Because everything we do should teach us something spiritual. That should teach you something spiritual. It taught David something spiritual. David was tending to the sheep, then it tended to him thinking about the people on that deep level, to where he was making sure that nothing goes missing. Why is it not much work? Would I say that Luke 15 verse 47 correlates with this verse? About this, Go ahead, pull that. I mean, pull it out, but it's Luke 15, 47. 42 and 7. Luke chapter 15, verses 4 to 7. Okay, and you want to see if that correlates with this verse in Deuteronomy 22, verse 1. Okay, let's see that.
Luke chapter 15, verse 4. What man of you, having 100 sheep, if he lose one of them, doth not leave the 99 in the wilderness?
That's the one I was talking about the Sabbath, right? Yeah, that was more on the Sabbath. Yeah, but, I mean, when you look at it, it's talking about that tone of like caring, doing the right thing, right? But directly it's speaking about, he's using this example for the Sabbath, but it is talking about caring, considering. But to them, they're trying to make the excuse that, oh, we can't do certain things on the Sabbath. But he's showing them which one are you, knowing that because at that time period, cattle was a commerce, and they was making real money off of that, right? Trading, buying and selling it, right? And being that they were making real money off of that, they're like, which one of y'all? I want to know which one of y'all gonna actually follow what y'all saying. Well, when you see your sheep, right, in a ditch, are you gonna actually just let it stay in that ditch after the Sabbath, or are you gonna pick it up because you know it's your means of finance? So that was like basically an example about doing the Sabbath. But if you're looking at it in the sense you read it and you're studying it, it's still talking about care. It's still talking about caring. You know what I mean? Because it's talking about doing right on the Sabbath. Because when you do it right on the Sabbath, think about Christ was healing on the Sabbath, but then they were trying to act like he was doing something wrong. But Christ was doing what? Having that care about his brothers and sisters on the Sabbath. Making sure that they were good. So he went to something that they actually cared about. So he pricked them to the heart with something that they cared about. And showed them how their lives wasn't correct. So that's what that was about. Alright? But we can jump back. You got that?
Philippians chapter 2, verse 4.
And this is connected to your question though. Go ahead.
Look not every man on his own thing.
So when it comes to your things, like in that verse, that Luke 15, when it comes to your things, are you just going to care about your things? But so Christ is like, don't just look on your things. When you're trying to like pick and choose what part of the law to apply, read.
But every man also on the things of others.
Consider your brothers as well. Right? Doing right on the Sabbath. There's nothing wrong, but the main thing in that was showing that they're thinking wrong. Their understanding about the Sabbath was wrong. And that I'm the Lord of the Sabbath. I understand the rules and regulations and the guidelines of the Sabbath. So I know. So he was taking that line. But if you're looking at it from just what we're talking about, care. Having care about the brothers and sisters around you and what they got. Don't just care about your wealth. Care about what their wealth too. Because if one suffer, we all suffer. Right? So if one suffer, we all suffer, then that means we all going to be struggling. Right? If one family suffers through a disobedient child, we all going to suffer because that kid has the potential of feeding that negativity to my kid. Right? To the other kid. To the next kid. Right? So my kid might be strong-minded and not be able to be influenced by it. But somebody else's kid might be what? Weak-minded. Or easily influenced. So I have to care about the whole flock. But you can drop that. Right? And that's what's important. So I want you to read on the look how.
Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 1.
Right.
Thou shalt not see thy brother's ox or his sheep go astray, and hide thyself from them. Mm-hmm. Thou shalt in any case bring them again unto thy brother.
Right. And what does it not breed? Because what is it about like that spirit too? You don't want to be a thief. You don't want to breed that thievery spirit around, right? Where you got to steal, and you got the greediness on your the greediness in your belly pulling at you, and you don't want that, right? You don't want that, right? You don't want the greediness of the belly to take you because then it starts building this thievery spirit, which does what again? Bring another type of spirit around. So let's take it away from the from the drug dealer, let's take away from the parent, the prostitute. Now you got a thief. Now you've got somebody that's greedy. They've been sneaky and stingy. They're thinking about their stuff, their well-being, and not the next man or woman. So there's what? The Most High is training us how to not think for ourselves, but to think about others at the same time. You read?
And if thy brother be not nigh unto thee.
And that's a very important point too. Because that's what we're trying to work out of ourselves right now. Right? So that's what makes that point super important. That's what makes that point super important because, we have to literally care about one another. And this environment is about learning to reestablish that unity. But in unity, the word care is like the nucleus. Having care about the brothers and sisters around you is the nucleus in the middle of all those things. Because we literally won't be able to thrive without each other. We literally won't be able to sustain without each other. Think about it now. We were talking about yesterday, right? We can, like the rents and all the alms that brothers and sisters do, it helps. Right? The mom's doing his part, the brothers and sisters, we all doing our part. Everybody's doing their part. So it what? It allows everything to function. But imagine if we're not all doing our part. What's going to happen? Everything's going to falter. Everything's going to fall. Everything's going to fail. Plummet. And we don't want that. We don't want that because then what's going to happen? What are we going to congregate? Right? There's a lot of brothers and sisters. Ain't nobody got a mansion, do they? Does anybody got a mansion? To supply room and space for all brothers and sisters to come? Right? We'll find a way to make it work, but why not just have a school building with internet, right? With light, with AC, a learning zone, right? So it's very, very important. But that's why we consider those things and have to have that care. And it should extend to the children. It should extend to the brothers and sisters where we thinking about each other's well-being, like having even the pantry. That helps. That helps everybody. When you need something and you don't got the funds necessarily at that time, the funds not going to be coming until what? 2, 3, 4 days down the road. So what you going to do? 2, 3, 4 days if you don't have nobody with you. Right? But you don't struggle. Don't starve. But we need one another. So, but go ahead, jump back.
Verse 2. And if thy brother be not nigh unto thee, or if thou know him not, then thou shalt bring it unto thine own house, and it shall be with thee until thy brother seek after it, and thou shalt restore it to him again.
Right. Because you got to care. It's teaching you care to make sure that you got, your brother got, and then it's not like he got to struggle to get through his season. You have his item. I mean, he may not recognize it, or he probably forgot, or he's on a journey. But at some point, he's going to come to get it, or think about it, or if he comes to get it at some point, you should have it there ready for him. Right? To restore it. It's teaching you that to not trust in the material. Right? And this is what it does for our mental state. They're going to look at that verse. But this is what it does for our mind as a people. 27. Yeah, Psalm 27.
Psalm chapter 20, verse 7. Some trust in chariots, and some in horses.
But it uses the example of chariots and horses. Right? Means of traveling. Right? And they say the horses prepare for the day of battle. But some of these things they use these things at that time for trust. They trusted in these things. But the main aspect of what this scripture is saying about material, we trust in the physical things to save us, to deal with our issues, to deal with our battles. Right? I gotta use a body. Right? I gotta go work 3, 4 jobs. Right? I need a man. Right? I need a woman. Right? I can't live without it. Something that you can't live without it. You think that that thing's going to save you, that thing's going to sustain you. And so you would go by any means necessary to make sure you accomplish that thing or gain. And you would do what? Not consider the people. You would not consider the people that you affected around you. Right? So you would not consider your brother. He said, some trust in chariots and some in horses. Read.
But we will remember the name of the Most High out of heaven.
But our job is to remember the Lord. And remember that the Most High in what way? That He takes care of us. In your highs and your lows, the Lord takes care of you. He literally will sustain and provide. Right at that moment where you're like, man, what am I going to do? I'm going to pay the rent. I'm going to pay the car note. Right? Right in that moment where you're worried about that. What I'm going to have for food for the next day for the kids. Right in that moment, He supplies you with something that's going to do what? Take care of you. It is through a brother, it's through a sister. But He wants you to learn that way to wait on Him. So by you just holding on to your brother's animal and not slaughtering it like, oh, my kid's hungry. Right? I had to kill the sheep that I was going to eat the other day, not the one that I was going to sell. I had some sheep that I was going to try to sell, but this sheep, I didn't want to eat, but this one got sick. And I found my brother's sheep. Oh, this one's whole. But you in that moment hungry, you want to what? You get weak. What's the natural person do in that moment? Huh? Go ahead. You said who? Right, that sheep's on my land, let me just eat it. It's mine anyways now. Find the keepers, lose his weepers. Right? And I notice how the scripture uses the word brother too. It's not saying person. It's not saying individual. It's saying brother. Like your brother, this is your brother. You care. Because when you think about brother, you think about somebody that you care for. You can start that saying, when you think about somebody that you actually care for, that you love. Right? So think about it. We say what? We'll go all out to the Most High? Huh? But then what does the Most High ask on the flip side? How can you love me if you don't love your brother who you have seen? Right? You see him every day. You see your brother every day, but you see that he's missing something. What are you going to do in that moment? What are you going to do in that moment? Are you going to take it? Hold it for yourself? Are you going to breathe this spirit of distrust? And that's what that's going to build. I can't trust nobody. I know somebody ran across my sheep and took it. You know what? It started building the spirit of suspicion in that person because you're taking something that's theirs that they use to provide for their family. You see that? And that's very, very important. But that's why we can't be in this trusting in materialistic things to take care of us. So it's very, very important to ponder on that. But go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 30. And like manner shalt thou do with his eyes, and so shalt thou do with his raiment.
Y'all be like, clothes, why does that even matter? You lose clothes, you lost it. The clothes is gone, the clothes is gone. Like, why does that even matter? Go to Ecclesiastes 5 and 15. Ecclesiastes 5 and verse 15.
Ecclesiastes chapter 5 verse 15. Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or a small.
See that? So whether it's a major issue, the sheep, or a small issue, the raiment, or what men, what we would consider small. Because it's think about it. Why y'all think it's pointing out clothing though? I want to see what y'all think. Why y'all think it's pointing out clothing? Like if you see your brother's clothing, return that to him. Go ahead, Sharina. Oh, the mic, yeah. Oh, the mic.
I have clothing that is my favorite, like my favorite shirt or my favorite pair or something. And so if someone took it from me, I would be angry or upset or disappointed.
Well, we don't want to be so locked into the clothes. So when we get angry about the clothes, come on. But I get you. Like, man, I wanted that.
It's my favorite.
Yeah, but
It might mean something to me.
I get you. I put let me do the contract. So you might get some.
Oh, no, this is like my hoodie is lost right now.
Oh,
So I'm just saying, if anybody sees it, you know, keep the scripture in mind.
right. Brother, stop. Somebody gonna get your hoodie here, bro.
Black hoodie. They got the man with the Jordans on the, they got the Jordan on the back of the hoodie.
Look at this guy.
Showing his feet in the air. Like he's jumping the ball.
Look at this guy. Oh, everybody got something about clothes, huh? I don't hear what I got to say. Go ahead, we go to Last Bar, we're gonna go. We're gonna go to you. Go ahead, Last Bar. Everybody got something about clothes, huh?
I'll say that the scripture, when it comes to dating, I'll say it doesn't really have that much value.
Speak up a little bit more into the mic.
I'll say that with clothing, it really doesn't have that much value. So when someone sees it, they're like, oh, they're not really going to need it. So you take it, but they don't really think that, oh, it belongs to this person, whether they need it or whether it's important to them. So they take it because they think it's valueless. So,
Right.
yeah.
No, they think it's valueless. So I like that. What was you gonna say now, John? I mean, Mom Zara.
Oh, sorry.
Everybody's thinking like connected. No, you can get speaking the mic. Speak a little loud.
Okay, I was thinking of clothes as far as
Just for everybody else online.
okay. Yeah. I was thinking too, because a while ago I had like a little coat on my back, you know what I'm saying? So, like you said, you know, it causes distrust, you know, and it can, you know, cause people to, you know, it takes away from the unity that's trying to be built.
Mm-hmm.
So, this, basically the whole chapter is basically saying that, you want to try to get that back if it, you know, if you see it, you return it. So I was going to say, you know, being in, you know, that type of predicament, you know, anybody who's been in that predicament, I think it's kind of making it more relatable. Because they were talking about sheep, but then it brought it to clothes. So I was thinking that because it brought it to clothes, you know, they might have known that, you know, later on they may not always go with sheep. So just clothes in terms of more relatable.
No, it's relatable, but it's factual. Because Sister just said it. She said she would get angry if her clothes, right, that favorite thing that she got a sentiment connection to, was missing. I mean, you don't want to be that tight to the clothes, but you know, that sentiment. But even think about it on this time. Think about it, the priest, you know, obviously certain clothes that they had to leave at the temple. But let's imagine it's a cold season. That's the only jacket they have. Right? That's the only sweatpants they got. Right? It's hot. That's the only t-shirt that he got. Right? It's considering like that person, they might need. They might need that raiment for that time. Oh, what you feel out now? Were you done? Were you done?
Yeah, I was saying.
Okay. So you can pass me.
Well, I was saying two things. One, somebody may not have that much, so you can take it from somebody who has a little, and that can give you that can bring a spirit of coveting, you know, something on somebody else. Also, with clothing, you know, somebody may have open wound or something, and you may be spreading something as well. So I look at on that matter, somebody may be unclean, so you may be spreading uncleanness.
Right. The ingredient that's got you caught up.
By taking it to yourself or trying to make extra money by ill gain, you could be spreading illness or something throughout the camp. So.
Right. Even that's a deep one. That's a deep one, thinking about the fact that somebody might have got clothes. You don't know if it was a person that was sick. You know? You don't know if it was a person that was sick, and then you taking that clothes, and then now you spread it around trying to make a quick buck off of it. Yeah, that's right on point. That's a deeper layer one. And then I like the brother said what you just said too online, Ricard. If you go to Exodus 20 and 17.
Exodus chapter 20, verse 17. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house.
Yeah, and he put a definition with it too. He put a definition with that. What was it?
Covet means to yearn, to possess, or have something.
Right? You yearn to possess or have something. And there's a deeper layer even behind, there's a layer with that layer that he just dropped. So it says, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Right? Or, what?
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife.
Right. Because it leads you to this covetous spirit, but which is greedy. You want gain. You're chasing after gain and prosperity like the churches. Right? We don't want to be thinking like that, but that's what the mind that is breathed in. And this is what it ultimately leads to. Watch it, I'm going to show you. Go to Proverbs 15:27. This is what that covetous spirit, that greedy spirit does.
Proverbs chapter 15, verse 27.
Mm-hmm.
He that is greedy of gain.
So a man that's greedy of gain. Think about what Nabal almost did to his whole family when he denied David. Now, it ended up just happening to him because he had a righteous man who was moving with wisdom. But look what he almost acted out this scripture. It fell on him because he acted out of wisdom, but he almost acted out the scripture. Read.
He that is greedy of gain, troubleth his own house.
You see that? You'll trouble your own house. When you chasing after that gain, and I know the scripture is using animals and it's using clothing. But it could be for whatever. It could be for whatever it is. It could be whatever item. It could be shoes. Right? I wish I had silky hair like him. I wish I had silky hair like him. I wish I had my fro to grow as fast as this person. Right? Like, whatever. It could be a company, whatever. What happened, Master Bro? Oh, was I nothing? Who said? Master Zara? Oh, go ahead.
What I'm trying to piggyback off is in terms of returning stuff back to your owner. You never know if in the case of returning they might reward you. Reward you with one being that you saw it wandering away and you thought about it. Same with clothing, same with shoes, food, all of that.
Yeah, when you sit down and think about this, it's so many different dynamics to it. Cause it's like as you were speaking, Tobit popped in my head. I mean, that's one thing. And Tobit was doing it, not even looking for a reward. He didn't even think he was deserving of a reward. He thought his rib went and stole the cattle that he got. They gave it to him for food, and he thought his rib stole it. He's like, "What you doing? Why you stole this?" And she's like, "You don't know the work that you've been putting in? Like, you don't think that the Lord is going to give it back to you? You think the Lord was going to take care of you for doing that?" And then that kind of like, oh, yeah, it made him think. It's like, you're right. But it's so dynamic that there's that aspect. You miss getting the understanding on how the Lord teaches you. You miss the lesson on how the Lord teaches you because you're greedy again. And the most important thing is you're going to trouble the people around you. Now you teach the people around you that, right? You teach them, and then they start teaching that to the rest of the nation. It's like spirits jump, so things spread like wildfire. And so everything that everybody was saying was right on point, and it leads back to this one nucleus. Who had it? Oh, you had it. Okay.
He that is greedy of gain, troubleth his own house.
Yeah, you got yearning to possess something. You covet something. You're gonna trouble your own house. And what happens?
But he that hateth gifts shall live.
That's the spirit that we're supposed to do. And there's nothing wrong with receiving it. There's nothing wrong with giving it. It's just saying like you're not chasing after that thing. You're not doing anything for that purpose. You're not looking like, oh, I'm giving a ride so I can get gas. I'm giving a ride so the Lord can bless me with a new car. I'm helping out with food. And also the Lord bless my food stamps with 3K. I don't know, I'm just throwing that out there, right? I'm just throwing out different things. But you're doing things, your circumstantial loving, basically. You're looking for the next come up. So the Most High trying to, it's like a bunch of things trying to form ideas pop in my head. But like you just think about a merchant, or the scripture talk about a merchant, he can't never be like, it's hardly can do things from a just spirit. It's hard for a merchant to stay on the right path. Because there's always an angle to come up. But if you don't have any morality involved in what you're doing, if you don't have any morality involved in what you're doing, then you're going to lose yourself. And then you're going to be that greedy person that's not considering anybody else, and then now you start troubling your own house. You start troubling your kids. You teach your kids how to be greedy, how to be comfortable, right? Then now everywhere they then beg. They're not like asking, they're begging for things. We don't want that. You don't want to create that spirit because then why? Where are they learning how to trust in the Lord to take care of it? There's a difference between begging and asking. Big difference. Right? Big difference. We need it. You ask it. Right? Begging is you have it. You got it. You just don't want to use what you got, so you try to give it to somebody else. So that you can save what you got. I don't want to touch my olive oil for frying, for cooking. Hey brother, you got olive oil? That's when you do that though. Y'all hosting a gathering. This will happen. Then you hold get together with your family, and then everybody come. They pick the house that they're gonna go to. Then what happens when they at that house? Right? They're like, okay, who's gonna bring this? Who's gonna bring that? Who's gonna bring this? You know you got that item that they need for the party at your house. Right? Or just for the family get together at your house. But what do? You don't say nothing about it. You act like you don't even got it. But your house is sitting there seeing you. I'm gonna say that for next week for me and my mom. For me, my brother, I want about 5 brothers. Right? But you know that it's needed. Your family know that you have it. They know that's at the house, but you're not saying that. And they hear you having this conversation. And you teaching them to be selfish. You teaching them to lie. Right? You teaching them to be secretive. So it's so many spirits that come with it that we got to really watch out for that spirit in us. Because now we're coming from the world. We're coming in with certain spirits. Everybody coming in with certain types of spirits. Stinginess, laziness, selfishness. Right? We come in with different types of spirits. We want to get rid of those. So these laws are here. We're going over these laws. These how to deal with your brother, intimate. Like these are intimate dealings right here. How to actually deal with people in these moments. So we're learning these different instances so that we can what? Stop ourselves from doing it now. Right? Because everything that was written before time was written for our learning. So we're reading it so that we can kill the spirit now. So let's jump back. Did y'all get that right?
Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 3. In like manner shalt thou do with his eyes, and so shalt thou do.
Well, read this on Proverbs 1 and 19. Read this Proverbs 1 and 19. So this on this covetous, greedy, and wise pointing out even the raiment. Because in the small things, you'll overlook the small things, the things that seem like they're not valuable, and you'll be like, oh, he ain't gonna think about that. You take it, it starts developing slowly a greedy spirit. And then this is the ending of what type of spirit they put on you. Proverbs 1:19.
Proverbs chapter 1 verse 19. So are the ways.
So are the what?
So are the ways.
Ways. Read.
Of everyone that is greedy of gain.
So this is the ending. This is the point that you reach once you allow yourself to just be engulfed in this spirit. Read.
Which taketh away the life of the owners thereof.
You'll take a life. You'll take a life. You'll murder somebody. Right? What did Cain want? To where he murdered Abel. Question. What did Cain want that he murdered Abel?
He wanted that glory that Abel received from the Father.
So it'll lead you to what? Tangible. There's tangible and there's intangible things that you want. He wanted that what?
He wanted that glory that Abel received from the Father.
He wanted the glory that Abel received from the Father. But he didn't want to do any of the right things to get praise and acknowledgement from the Father. Right? Because that's what we all want, the acknowledgement from the Most High. But we're skipping steps. We didn't realize that church was teaching us how to skip steps to get that acknowledgement. And it led him to what? Being envious, being jealous, because he didn't have those things, which is going back to the covenant and greediness and what it does, right? It led him to what? Slaughtering his brothers, which taken the life of the owner thereof. The Most High dealt with Abel, but we got to see that what? We don't want that spirit in us. So if you got a greedy, selfish, envious, jealous, covetous spirit that you deal with, in whatever department, it may not be items, right? It might be somebody's attention. You might be greedy and selfish with somebody's attention. That's my dad. That's my mom. And then when you see mom and dad giving the attention more to the other, you do what? You get upset. And then now you start dealing with your siblings short. Now you're short with your siblings. Now you can't have a conversation with them. Because you feel like dad and mom love them more than me. But you're tricking yourself. Tricking yourself to think like that. Right? Or the adult. Oh, he just so goes to the kids, he don't even care about our relationship. You jealous of your own kids? You jealous of your own kids? It'll lead you to what? Take the life thereof. And you know how I know I'm not stretching it? What do y'all see on the news now? If y'all pay attention to the news, what's happening right now on a high rate? Parents what?
Parents killing their kids.
What you supposed to learn? Killing their parents. Go ahead. Alright? Oh, she is doing with that thing.
It was the brother that killed his own sister that was pregnant, but they didn't ever say like why or anything.
Yeah. But a bunch of different reasons. It could be any of the things you just listed. Right? But we know it's what? Ultimately caring about yourself. Because at the end of the day, you're not thinking about the parents that's going to feel hurt when they lose their child. Right? You're not thinking about the fact that you're murdering one person and you have another little person that didn't even come to the world yet. And you take that person out. So we know it's selfishness there. Right? What do you say about that, brother?
So I was once in the car with my dad and my brother was in the car with me. We were listening to the video and there was this family. The father went away to find food tonight to the eat, and it was just the wife and the kids. And the dad was gone for months since the kids.
Put it a little closer to you.
And the dad was gone for months and months. And so the wife, she put on her wedding dress and she grabbed a knife and she killed her kids and her.
Wow.
Because his father was coming back to see.
Wow. So you put your trust in flesh in the inordinate fashion, in the wrong way, then you start like obeying like the God, right? Thou shalt have God the power before me. So your belly becomes the God that you put before the Most High. And then you try to do everything to accomplish that pleasure. Right? I need it, I want it, I gotta have it. The scripture says, touch not, taste not, handle not. Then we do the opposite. We touch it, we taste it, and we handle it. And we abuse it. But this scripture is giving us, this law is giving us a heads up to watch what to watch out for in ourselves. So that we don't what? Affect one another. It says provoke one another to love. This one, I want to get this one right here. I kind of verse. Yeah, I'm waiting. You got the feet. I think I can see 4 or 5. And yours is like Hebrews 10 verses. Hebrews? Go to Ephesians 6 and 4. Because this is what we're supposed to be watching out for. That's why that spirit can be around us. It's going to breed a murderous spirit. Because you're going to seek for some sort of glory, vainglory. And then you're going to what? Chase after something just to appease your flesh. Which we know the flesh can never be satiated or appeased. Read.
Ephesians 6 and verse 4.
But that much the more how it affects your brother. When he sees you with that raiment walking by, you know he only had that one coat. His house burned down last year, so he's rebuilding his what? He's rebuilding his items. Clothing, apparel, food, shelter. He's rebuilding everything, counts. But then he sees you with he sees you with all the raiment and everything that he owns. As you walking by in the village or the town, right? Or you come by, it's like, what the? And you go, I needed that. I was freezing waiting for the bus. But all because you cared about you. You could have put it in the chat. Hey, I found this jacket with the Jordan symbol here, right? Yeah. Yeah, I had a coat too, an express coat that I was making. I lost it somewhere. But you put it in the chat. You didn't think to put it in the chat, or you didn't care to put it in the chat because you wanted it anyway when you seen him wearing it. And now you wear it. But no, I bought this. And now it leads you to lying. You see that you're lying, and then what do you do to your brother's spirit though?
And ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath.
No, that's not it. No, it says, you got it? Go ahead.
Hebrews chapter 10, verse 24.
No, that's the other one. It's in Ephesians. Yeah, so let's leave that one and come back to the reading. Come back to the reading. Alright. Yeah, let's go back to the reading and we'll find out.
Deuteronomy chapter 22 and verse 3, second precept.
Mm-hmm.
And so shalt thou do with his raiment,
Right.
and with all lost things of thy brother,
Right.
which he hath lost, and thou hast found. So shalt thou do likewise, thou mayest not hide thyself.
Yeah. So and it uses the word hide thyself, to making sure that you don't what? Build that secretive spirit where everything's a deception. Everything's a trick, everything's a lie. Right? Everything's I'm hiding. Everything I don't want to show my true colors. But it's forbidding you because it what? Gives you the law to not do it. And it gives you the law on what to do to not allow that spirit to jump on you or in you. Right? Or stay attached to you. So it's giving you the method on how to break the spirit by just following this law. The spirit of it is applying the mindset of it, right? Doing the action so that you don't do the deed, and then now you got this guilty conscience, so you don't want to fess up. Because why? If you hide yourself, if you hide the item, now you know the person, this is your close friend, come to your house. Now every time you come to your house, you gotta be thinking about, oh, did I hide it in the right spot? Did I got a bundle of sheep amongst the rest of the sheep to make them look like this is one of my sheep? You seek it deep to do some evil. How deep? Alright? But don't they do that today? But you see how deep it goes? But it's a protection for you at the same time. So read on.
Verse 4, thou shalt not see thy brother's ass or his ox fall down by the way, and hide thyself from him. Thou shalt surely help him to lift him up again.
Yeah, that's the one that goes with what you were talking about, Pastor Gordon. That's the one that goes with what you were talking about. So that's where Christ was told. Right? But he was saying it, like, let's say that happens on the Sabbath. You're not going to go help him? So what was the whole point of Sabbath? Their rest, but isn't it lawful to do good on the Sabbath? Yeah, it was trying to do something. It was considering your brother. You weren't doing your own pleasure. The thing about the Sabbath was not doing your own pleasure. So, isn't this lawful, right, to do? Isn't this a good thing to help your brother out? You know you're going to meet that in the upcoming days.
Yeah. Verse 22, the end of verse 22 right there, it says, thou shalt in any case bring them again unto him,
What verse was we?
Not verse 22, verse 1.
Oh, yeah.
Verse 1. It's saying in any case.
Right. In any case, because you know you're going to end up meeting him. This is where he take care of himself and his family. So, but read on.
Verse 5.
But y'all see that, right?
Right.
This about the care, considering your brother, your neighbor, and how it teaches us so many things. It instills us with so many things, but it also what? It also keeps you from attaching so many spirits to you. So it's a protection, it's a shield. So it's a weapon of war. Read.
Verse 5. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man.
Right. And we know that, right? Now, we know that now is what? Dress, feminine apparel, right? You don't want to wear that which pertains to a woman. But that's what's going on heavily in the world right now. And this is something that you definitely want to be able to make a distinction for your kids, because for brothers and sisters, because that's heavy, that transgenderism, even on the tip where they're like making clothes for men, but when you look at it, it looks really more like it's for women. So they're even doing this whole mesh of apparel where you like those jeans. I understand those jeans that those men are wearing, where it got like
The bell bottom.
what's it called?
Well, you talking about the wide opening on the bottom?
Yeah, it look like for women. Yeah.
Yeah. Wide on the bottom.
Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about? Yeah, those jeans, it look like more so for women. But I mean, obviously, women are supposed to be wearing jeans anyway, they're supposed to be wearing a dress. But this was the society, how they look at it now, it looked like it was shaped and figured for a woman. I'm like, what this guy was doing? Right? And you got a dude wearing ones where the fabric is just like a feather poking out. I'm like, what's going on over here? And it's big dudes, skinny dudes, muscular dudes, and but it looks out of minded. And we want to make that distinction in our apparel, in our clothing, because we want to what? First and foremost, keep the law, and we don't want that. Nobody wants that spirit. Any sound man, clear man doesn't want that spirit around him anyway. And you want to abstain from the appearance of evil, it's that kind of shit. So you want to keep people away from that type of stuff. So we want to make that distinction. A man is supposed to wear what a woman wears, right? And a woman is not supposed to wear. A man is not supposed to wear. Neither should a man put on a woman's garment. So none of us are supposed to be doing that, because that causes confusion. It causes confusion, and now they're trying to push that in the schools with the books. Let's think about books with the kids. They got trainers literally going to the schools and trying to teach the kids that this is an okay way to think. Think about how hard you gotta go. Let's think about how hard they're going just to push that to children in schools. Go ahead,
In school, they let kids that this gay walk around, and then there's teachers that are bisexual, sodomites, and they're teaching us that.
Yeah, they're not thinking about how that's impression, what type of impression is putting on the kids, right? Go ahead, you understand?
When I first started high school, they had back in Europe they had this protection program for the rainbow community, and it was like you can't say nothing weird towards them, you can't say nothing, even if you write a paper on that, you can't say nothing offensive. And it was either a recommendation for expulsion or suspension. And then out here, when I was at Bayside, they had the same thing, and it was even heavier than them because of the librarian, because she was gay too. So it was just, that's how they were constantly keep pushing and it getting worse.
Yeah, I mean, they literally just pushing it everywhere though. It's literally like a silent attack. It's bold, but because everybody in the world is asleep, and it's like, oh, nothing wrong with it. Even you got even people that at one point in time, there were people that were running around in the street. They were even no, we ain't messing with none of that. they used to make jokes on that, even so much so. But now even like you got people that are so-called street cats, right? They're actually even like, they ain't heard me, it's all good with me. So now it's like they're desensitizing everybody. Yeah. What do you think about the word?
I was gonna say that it's come to a point where certain schools have started putting out that this switch of gender, so guys will dress up as females and females dress up as guys. So you see guys walking around school with dresses and girls dress up as men with these big beards on. So they started integrating that in like high schools to create awareness for the queer like community, and it's like they're trying to make it a where like people come to school dressed up as a guy, and females come to school dressed up as girls with like beards and stuff, just to push out being gay.
Yeah, that is yeah, that's heavy. That's heavy. That is heavy. But that's why we got to armor up our kids, armor up the brothers and sisters, and armor up our next generation. We're trying to switch out this mic because the audio on there is very bad. It sounds terrible. Okay, I had a yeah. So we're going to switch that out in a second. Go ahead, Lionel. What were you saying?
I was going to say that now also the courts are getting involved. There are some of these classes you used to be able to opt out to remove your kids from taking classes that deal with things of that nature. But now the courts have started in some states making it where you can't opt out. Taking your kids out of the classes that promote homosexuality.
Really?
So the courts is also getting involved to stop you from being able to remove your kids from their classes.
This shows that if you're not teaching your kids, they could really fall in being a statistic, right? They could really fall in that spirit of homosexuality or watering it down where they start to sympathize with that spirit. That's a big one, where they sympathize with it. Yeah, what's that?
They're making it mandatory here in Virginia and other states to keep the history of the LGBT community.
Really?
Yeah. So they're taking the history, changing the history of slavery in like other states, making it seem like we volunteered to come over here, but they're teaching us, making it mandatory for us to learn about things that are definitely
That's insanity, man.
Yeah.
But that's why the Most High is saying, except he saved a certain elect, we'd be as Sodom and Gomorrah. So we got to get on it now. Go ahead, Al.
There was one person in my school, she dresses like a boy. Every day she wears pants and like not like.
Yeah, well, a lot of them do that. A lot of them do that. Are you saying she's trying to act like she's a boy?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Wow. Yeah, and you got parents that promote it. Now we understand why the scriptures say, slay utterly old, young, maids, and little children. You're thinking like, well, they're innocent. Nah, there's a lot of wicked children, wicked kids. Remember, the Most High doesn't look at that. He looks at their spirit. And you start to see that a lot of these kids ain't willing to change. We argued, didn't argue. Okay, y'all, we're going to go offline real quick, and we're going to come back on. All right? So give us a second so we can get better audio. Go ahead. But